Well, let's get into it, shall we? Xander, good evening.
Hi there, James. Thanks very much for having me on the show.
Okay. Are you a toxophilist?
You may need to give me a definition of what that is.
No, if you're the new Robin Hood, you should bloody well know.
You can't be Robin Hood, then. You failed at the first hurdle.
Well, I don't think anyone this rigged is trying to be Robin Hood per se, but maybe I can just explain a bit what you're sort of talking about.
Do you wear green tights?
So
I've
not
lost you for some reason.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're definitely not Robin Hood.
Hang on, Xander, hang on a minute. I'll tell you what it is in a moment. I just want to show my viewers and let my listeners listen to a little bit of what you do, but there will be no toxophily within this. Anybody knows what toxophily is? Get in touch. I'd be surprised if anyone does, but you never know.
It's a board game, isn't it?
Okay, here we go. Let's look at this.
This man dictates who gets to afford to eat and who doesn't. We demand that supermarkets introduce types of baby formula, nappies, and baby food to the prices that they were in March 2021. Because children should have to go hungry. Hunger is a political choice that people like Simon Roberts here is making. Food is not a luxury, it's a human right, basic human right.
That was Sainsbury's in Glasgow. Xander, that's your organisation who does that. And you smugly also go in and steal. I'm not even sure why we're allowing you on the programme, to be honest, because you are obviously a crook.
Interesting. Okay, well, I think it's important. I think you raised a good point there about stealing. Let's maybe talk about stealing for a second. Stealing, I think maybe we can agree on a definition, which is, you know, taking something that is not rightfully yours from someone who it rightfully belongs to. And through that lens, we can see that we, the people, are the ones being stolen from. Right now in Scotland,
you're an
idiot.
4 people. How long have you been employed?
I've been employed in community food work for the last 7 or 8 years.
You've never been employed, have you? Never been employed, never paid any tax, never done anything useful for this country except go in, steal and vandalise the outside of a shop. And you smugly sit there on television and quite frankly, you depress me.
But you don't, they're not stealing from you.
Because you're not letting me get.
But the shop has a price and you can choose to buy it or not.
Be quiet now.
They're not stealing from you.
I was going to say maybe one sentence. It's like, yeah, okay, excellent, thank you. To answer your question, I currently work in community food provision, and I run community meals and emergency food provision for people who are experiencing dire food insecurity. So to answer your question, that's what I do. So I do think I actually am quite well placed to give my professional opinion on the matter.
Really?
Which is that the situation in terms of the cost of living crisis is that things are going from bad to worse.
Yeah.
I don't see that being relevant, but I'm 30 years old.
I don't see what you're talking about is relevant, and if you're 30 years old, you should be even more ashamed of yourself.
Interesting.
You really think people are going to actually
be ashamed of themselves are the CEOs like Simon Roberts and Ken Murphy.
No, you talk complete rubbish.
You don't have to shop there.
While people are literally
you can grow your own food. You can eat very cheaply as a family. You don't
How
have
are
to.
the people meant to do that when they can barely survive?
You can make food quite cheaply.
What sort of thing do you steal?
We don't. Well, again,
you do steal.
You've asked about 100 questions.
What sort of thing do you steal? Let's stick with that.
To get back to the point you made at the start, with the Robin Hood point that you made at the start, what the actions those are, what we do is we go into supermarkets, we take things off the shelves without taking them from the shop, and we put it into the food bin in that supermarket. So that's not shoplifting. So that's just simply not shoplifting.
It actually
is.
And
so then we put the supermarket. No, it's not.
You've stolen it.
You've stolen it from the shop.
Just because you haven't taken it out of the shop, that doesn't.
We're putting the shop into the position where they have to. What they have to do is then say, do we leave this food in the food bank bin to then go to the food bank so that people can actually get?
You've stolen it.
Or do they show their hypocrisy and then take it out and then show that what they really only care about is profit?
Just put it back because you've stolen it.
Well, I'm not giving anything to food banks anymore if people like you are doing that. And I think a lot of our viewers...
Do you understand that last year there was literally like approximately 1,000 children hospitalised in ambulances due to the acute effects of malnutrition?
Probably the
problem in Scotland right now due to malnutrition.
Probably because they've got shit parents. Probably because they're being brought up by people who are not intelligent enough to have children. And when are we going to start in this country?
You're showing how
when are we going to start?
The people watching this are the ones
listen to me. I was a father
I
at
think
17.
you need to listen to what the people are saying. The people are saying...
The people are not saying. You're talking rubbish. You are talking to a bunch of people who get stuff free from idiots like you.
I'm quite flabbergasted at your ability to try and make this seem like a controversial issue. What I'm saying is that people should not be starving, and you're trying to make that seem like a divisive issue.
Do you not think vandalising a supermarket, stealing the food, because that's what you're doing, even though you're putting it in the bin in there, but you didn't pay for it. Do you not think you are absolutely behaving in an appalling way? Do you actually think
the people that are behaving in an appalling way are the CEO corporates who are literally profiteering? It's well-known fact that they are profiteering.
That's what you open a
baby
business
formula
for.
has increased by 25% over the last year.
Don't shop there then. Go somewhere else.
What do your parents think of what you're doing? What do your parents think?
Again, you seem keen to talk about absolutely every single aspect of the situation except for the one that's key, which is the people of Scotland, the people the world over are going hungry needlessly, while a very small number of people.
But you can make nutritious meals on your social security money.
Go and cook a meal. Go and open cookery classes.
You can.
Again, I work in community food. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and you probably it's in your interest to promote this because that's what you're doing.
Pasta, vegetables. Fast food's cheaper than ever.
Do you understand how it works? You don't like. I've no interest. I've no benefit.
They've just got to stop smoking fags. Beans on toast.
Have beans on toast.
Salad.
I had that for dinner yesterday. It was very nice.
Pasta with sauces. It's all very cheap. About 30, 40 pence a day. Noodles.
Well, obviously, you two would say that. Like I think it's pretty fair to say that the cost of living crisis probably is not affecting you two very much. I'm telling you from the perspective of people who are affected by this, and they are living in
social security has gone up.
There are all kinds of
James,
ways.
Can I tell you a quick story quickly, James? I had someone sign up to one of my emergency food provision services recently who told me that she was deliberately skipping meals because she had to get a new pair of shoes because the only pair she had was in tatters. Now, if that person was in my chair right now talking to you, what would you say to her?
I don't know, because I would be in a different situation in my head than talking to a smug idiot like you. Goodbye.
No, but
go away. You're a thief and a vandal. You vandalise a building, you don't need to go to that building. It'll have absolutely no consequence at all.
No consequence. What on earth are you talking about?
Everybody at some, not everybody at some point, but people
put their own wallet ahead of our well-being. That's what's happening right now, James.
You're so
I think the fact that you keep interrupting me is.
You will never.
The fact that you keep interrupting me is proving that you clearly think that you clearly see that I'm right, and you're scared that if I finish a sentence that I'll actually prove you wrong on your own show.
You will never prove me wrong because I'm right. Would you prefer people...
Do you think that people should go hungry? That's a very simple question.
Do you think food should be free? Do you think food should be free, do you?
I think absolutely it should be free. I think people should be able to access food regardless of
and then it is free.
Yeah.
Make your own food.
Maybe let's take a wee step back. I'll tell you the two...
Chickens.
Hang on just a minute.
The first one...
What would you say to farmers? Should they be giving their food away free?
No, they should be compensated for the...
Who's going to pay for that?
Again, I'm going to take a wee step back.
Who's going to pay for that?
This is the Scottish government obviously should be paying for the well-being of people of Scotland. They have a fundamental right to ensure that we have a human right to food.
Here's a viewer listener. Listen to me. A viewer listener said Xander is 30. He's never really worked, never paid tax, and is probably on benefits, taking the money and food from kids' mouths. Says Mick. What do you think about that?
Nick doesn't know me. I'm not really interested. That's just not true.
Do you get any social security money?
No. Again, that's nothing to do with what...
Look.
I work...
You're a thief, aren't you?
The two demands that this is right, Tad.
You're a thief.
Which is that the supermarket slashed the prices of baby formula to March 2021 prices before they increased by on average a quarter, which is a total profiteering move on the part of
I'm pretty sure.
And secondly, the Scottish government fully fund a
I am pretty sure.
500 households.
You don't listen, do you? I am pretty sure.
You can talk.
Go away. I've had enough. I'm not talking to this prat anymore. I'm getting sick of people going on about how poor, we have social security.
You say you've fed up people talking about being hungry. Boo-hoo, it must be such a shame for you to have to listen to people talk about being hungry.
Just stop all the rest of you that commit these acts and think you're doing something great. You're not. Well, you are turning people against you.
No one thinks we're doing anything great. What we're doing is we're pointing a finger where it should be pointed, rather than demonizing people who are.
Nobody will be allowed to go hungry. If you went to the DHS
people are
or
going
somewhere
hungry.
like
that is what is happening right now. It is
probably because they're not really good at being parents.
Yeah, we had a doctor on 60 grand who said she had to go to food banks. So it's a load of bull, isn't it? Why can't they just afford it on the money that they get? She earned 60 grand and still said she had to go to food banks.
So you're saying because this one person is in one situation...
Well, no, it's just replicated across the board, isn't it? Why can't they afford it on their social security money?
What you're saying right
now. Do they do with their social security money?
Be quiet. Do you think that you'd be better off running a charity, getting money, rather than vandalising and stealing? Yes or no?
I'm going to answer that question with another question, dude. Do you think that babies should be going hungry?
Goodbye.
No. The mothers should feed them.
You know, what a... I want him off now. I've had enough. He's boring me stupid. I don't want to speak to a bloke who thinks it's fine to go in and steal stuff and then go and... You don't need to go to that supermarket. If you get him off...
He's still there. He's gone.
Are you lot really not wanting to work on this show? I can get a new producer like that.
Not like Chuck.
And I can get a new vision mixer, a new whatever she does, and a new whatever you do. You're what? Well...
Irreplaceable.
The fact you bring chocolates in does give you a
All right, you'll be
start.
all right, yeah. Make it Rare Roche next week.
But I don't even know why we interviewed that plonker, to be honest.
Yeah. Silly